Hey and welcome to my Hey and welcome to this VOD review. I played a tournament last Sunday and won the whole 100-man tournament with my favorite deck, Lemon Lime discard. And today I thought it would be interesting maybe for some of you to watch my games with me together. And we will start off with the first game that was streamed on Sunday. I was lucky enough to get 4 games in to the stream. And this first game, I think it was round 4, actually turned out to be a 2-0 victory, despite looking really bad while playing the game. And maybe you will watch it with me together and ask yourself, how did he win those games? And that's why we are here today, exactly for me to give some insight, to talk about a few ideas and plays I've made. The deck list is included in the comments, of course. You will find it there. Very happy with it, and let's jump in together and see what the games do for us. I hope you can watch everything. The tournament was organized by my team Playing Ducks. I actually wear a t-shirt, and casted by my team manager and amazing person, Slasher, aka Marcel. And I am playing this game against Diggy Hole. In this moment right now where we are putting together the decks, I of course do not know what deck I am facing. And unfortunately, we can't see my hand in those games, so I can just think about what I had in hand, but I can still talk through my plays. I get to start a series. As we see, I have no Diablo 1 drop. I start inking a Strike a Good match. This signals for me that I at least have some cards in hand I like. I don't need to dig deeper. That's a card I want to keep when my hand is very, very bad. So in that instance, I'm okay. My opponent misses his 1-drop. I'm very happy about it. I'm seeing a strength, so this could also be a blue steel. But I would also be very happy seeing blue steel missing a popsicle on 1, and especially the bell. I think I will skip through it. Let me quickly see. Yeah, I play Ursula on 2. Like the best, if you see a steal, I'm gonna pause here. If you see a steal matchup, Ursula on 2 is like the best play you can do, because on the one hand, you are almost guaranteed, or you have a very high probability of hitting a spell, and on the other hand, with her 3 health, she would also survive like a storm or something, and you want to stick a 2-drop on board to, in the next turn, best case, sing something with John on board, for example. Yes. Before we go, I will check if I can do the quality a bit better. I hope this works. Oh yeah, this looks way better. Yeah. Okay. Let's continue. Yeah, I'm seeing their hand. Let's pause again just quickly, or I'm looking at it myself. Pete is a card I have to think about. I have to keep in mind. I have to watch him using or not using, because if we get insight, and we have a few cards that gives us insight. If we have insight of our opponent's hand, we have to at least get some information out of it and make use of those information in the next turns. Yeah, so we know there's a Pete, we know there's a Rapunzel. I think 2 cards we can try to remember. If we see one of it going into the ink, it's probably due to they have another one, and in some cases it's probably because they have no other choice than inking a good card. But besides that, he plays Lilo. Not that much of a tempo or aggressive play. We even get to quest here with Ursula, which is very rare. We are a deck that doesn't really want to quest, doesn't really need to quest. We have other plans, and that's why it's a sign of we are in a good game state. I have Diablo here on 3. I'm not sure if I have John in hand or not here, but we ripped the song already, and they don't have a singer anyway on board, so our Diablo is very much protected here. If they do get another storm and clear off my Diablo, that's no problem, because they lose a lot of tempo. When you think about, should I rather play John or Diablo, if we still have time in game and we see a possibility that our Diablo gets through, like even a 50-50 possibility, and our opponent has to play suboptimally because of it, we definitely want to prefer the Diablo over Prince John. Yeah, I see 3 cards in my opponent's hand, and that most of the time means we can get them to 0 on turn 4, a very important turn, because we not only have You Have Forgotten Me for 2 cards, we most of the time want to pair it together with a Sun Chiller. I'm pretty sure I'm doing this right now. And as I said in the beginning, when I inked the Strike a Good Match, I think a lot of those cards already were in my hand. I knew I don't need new cards, so I put my line out in the first turns to get there. Now we are in a really good position. Our Diablo is now drawing cards for us. Only major suboptimal thing is that the Kaloon gets two lore here, but we got such a good early, and we got them into top deck mode, that we don't really care about it anyway. Now we got them down to 0 cards, so they're on 3 ink as well, not a lot of ink, and because they get just 1 card a turn, they most of the time don't get above the 3 ink. I think with a Diggy Hole as an opponent, that's a valid ink for them still. I think there are decks that would be way worse on 3 ink than Diggy Hole does, because they have good minions, good characters with cost 3 or less, for example. We follow with an aerial. What I wanted to say is we ripped their hand, we got them to 0, and now our mission is, and that's always the plan, to get rid of the board as well. And that's why I'm developing an aerial here, to maybe find an Under the Sea, because 1 wipe and they have no board left, and as I said, no hand as well, and that's almost impossible to come back, especially when they are like below 17 or 16 lore, because that means they need more than 3 characters, more than 2 characters to finish the game. I think even though we got in a really good position early game, I know that our hand is like not perfect. We don't have a Kida Under the Sea in hand, for example. I remember that, because otherwise it would be a really easy follow-up line. We now have to maximize our outs to get to a point where we clear the board, and if we achieve this, we can win the game from here. I think I have not untapped my... Oh yeah, no, he's still in this turn, my bad. He goes to 8. Against Steel and Amber, we are not in much of danger. I'm gonna quickly pause it because that's a really important. We are not really in danger of getting like cheesed. For example, if we let Amethyst go to 16, like 15, 16. They have tools directly gaining lore with the goat or rose or something, and that's dangerous territory. Against Amber Steel, I'm pretty chill, as I said, until like the 17 lore, where they need 1 to 2. Like 18, 19 is really bad, because they just need to get 1 minion through, 1 character through, and get to the end of the game. That's why it's totally okay if they get up to 14, 15, 16, because they still need something to finish the game, which is really hard. We now want to dig deeper. I picked the Bruno last with the Ariel last round, or like 2 rounds before, because I knew I had minimum 1 John in hand. I don't remember if I had 2 or 1 in this situation, and already planned on doing that play in case I don't draw the Under the Sea. Which is cool here, because we also draw 2 cards. I'm giving away the Lawrence, because with his 4 attack, he's like harder to deal with a Painting a Rose threat combined with Under the Sea. We would need a Kida, and against Kaloon and the other 3 attack minion, Rose would be enough. Because right now, of course, my Ariel will get sniped by Kaloon, and he will gain 1 more of it. But as I said, we are still in a good position right here. We just need to find our answer. Bruno is an important card in this kind of state of the game, because even we have Johns, which draw a lot of cards when they discard. If they don't have cards in hand, they can't discard cards. So with Bruno, we kind of cheat that they still discard cards, even though they have nothing in hand. And we get rid of something on the board, which is really practical as well. I would not want to lay my Johns sideways here. Is it still the turn? Oh, no, it's his turn, my bad. Already skipped. Yeah, and he can't really do much more than trying to get to 20 game for game. My Diablo also draws me one card, and that's what I said earlier. Like, if we had developed the John on 3 instead of the Diablo, we would have missed a lot of cards until now, because Diablo was not getting taken care of. I don't know. Okay, now we do play the Strike a Good Match, and as I said earlier, this signals, at least to me right now, that that we are looking for something, and we are indeed looking for something. We still want to get rid of the board. We are digging deep, and that's the only thing we need to do in this state of the game. I'm just gonna go. Oh, was it a whiff? No, it was no whiff. Take the bare necessities. No, my bad. Whoopala. Yeah. I don't know if we took something. Never mind, it's okay. I think we took the bare necessities just to ink it. What's else? Of course, we don't want to. We can't even like trade something in. If he would try to do a double attack John onto the Cinderella, which would be possible, we give up not only both Johns, but we would also give him one law more through the Kaloon, so it would even out with the Cinderella. We ultimately want to clear the board anyway, and I think that's what I'm trying to figure out here, how we can maximize those odds, how can we how can we get there? Skipping through, my opponent is in top deck mode. He now is on 17 law, which is a bit too much. As I said, like 17 is not that great for us, because even if we or 17 is still okay, but for example 18 would be really bad, because even if we would hit a Under the Sea next turn, they can just top deck, for example, a Lawrence and can quest with one character. Okay, and I think that's like the turn where magic happens, if I remember correctly. One thing that's a bit bad is that I don't ready my I do ready my Diablo here, fortunately. Okay, 4/4 we play Muse. I think that's very important. As I remember, or as we can see, I do not have Kida Under the Sea in hand, and I will take a lot of time thinking here. We can give 3 minions up, which is Penny Cinderella. If we do that, we still lose the game, because one of our characters, which is killable by Kaloon, would get killed by Kaloon, and they go up to 20. So we not only need to get rid of all the one or of the 3 2 or less attack characters, we also need to take care of either the Kaloon itself, with, for example, a Bruno or something, or we need to make sure that our cards cannot be killed through Kaloon and they cannot finish the game. That's I'm talking about it. Oh yeah, I remember I do have the Under the Sea. I do not have something to make the 3 attack minions go away. And that's why I decide to, there we go, sync together Under the Sea with Diablo and Ariel. And as I stated, I don't want to let the Ariel be on the board still, and that's why I'm taking her up in my hand again, to not be killed by Kaloon. Also, what I can do now, I'm not sure if I have the card already in hand, but if I find a Roses here through Ariel, I can still get rid of cards on my opponent's board. And I'm pretty sure that, I have to, I draw into the Roses. Perfect. I do still have 2 singers on the board, and even though I have no ink left, I have 2 actions I can still do. And this Ariel play again is what won me the game at the end, because now I can play roses, I draw a card and make both of them 2 or less, so I get 1 Muse trigger, give back the Kaloon because I want to get rid of the card, as I mentioned. She's not allowed to kill my characters. And now what's really cool is I have a second John to discard the Kaloon which I just gave back, draw 2 new cards because of John, and also am able to give back the Cook, John Cook, I don't know what's his name, back to hand as well, and make him stay at 17 lore. And right now it's really hard for them to get back. This board state alone is very hard to clear. They just have 1 card in hand. I know the card. He would need he would need to get down 3 lore now and hope that I don't have answers for that. So he plays just the Cook. I think he inked something else. And it's pretty easy. I can again play roses for 2, my muses give back, then I play Lucifer, and so on and so on. Quest to a point where I am finished next turn, which is really important with this deck. Sometimes you want to overextend to guarantee the 20 lore next turn. Of course, the overextension here is not relevant because my opponent doesn't play Be Prepared, but with the Lucifer, we make sure to get on 20 next round, and just like that, I won a game where I'm down 17-0 or like 17-2, thanks to Ursula. Just to give a bit, summarize a bit of things we have seen in this game against also this specific archetype, Diggy Hole, because I think he did not, maybe he plays the mine. I've not seen the mine. Probably Happy gives up that he plays the mine, but besides that, there are not really cards that gives us a big headache. We can easily remove a lot of those cards with just the roses to let them go down from 3 attack to 2 and get rid with UTS or muses, and also no direct law in the deck. And also they do have card draw with Dog and Rapunzel, but I think both card draws are very niche, very situational as well. So I'm not scared of them escaping our discard, because that's the first step. We first want to discard their hand, and after that they lose a lot of steam because they can't put new cards every round into the game, and we can focus on getting rid of the board after that. I think that's most of the time against stuff like this, decks like this, that's our best shot to win the game. Yeah, we make funny stacks again. I think I'm taking 5 new cards. No, it's 3 new cards if I'm not mistaken. That greatly varies. We have a lot of mulligan 7 because we have nothing in hand, nothing we can work with, and sometimes we need to navigate what we want to do or what we possibly can do in the early game if we keep card X and Y and stuff like this. That's very, very hard to determine lines and in the mulligan and opening the game, what to ink and stuff like this. Very hard with this deck. I think I will give insight on that as well in some other form, but for this game, I will leave it like that. Okay, now our opponent is starting against Diggy Hole. I think what we do not want to see is a Cinderella first, because she would be able to sing in a turn after and would already eliminate one of our best lines, which is Diablo. It is the Cinderella. I do not like to see that. I'm not sure if I have a Diablo in hand. I do have a Diablo in hand. It's always a question, do you want to do it, do you not want to do it? I prefer, in this state at least, going second, I prefer to do it because there is still a small chance that they don't have a spell or a song, or for example have to play the strength together with playing minions in the same turn, and then they would not draw a card. So Storm is like their best card, and he has Storm, but there was a chance that there is no Storm in hand or just the strength in hand, and that's why I took this risk here. Because like going second, I prefer taking a bit more risks to even out the disadvantage I get when I be on a draw. That's a really, really rough start for me and a good start for them. I luckily get to choose another, or get to rip a song with my Ursula. I know at least there is a second storm in hand. I kept that in mind. You always, as I said, need to try to save those information. Here I'm taking away the strength because I don't want him to ink a card for free, which this would be, and would rather have him sing the storm onto my Ursula, for example, to dig one deeper. And that's exactly what he does. The strength also would have killed my Ursula in case he would have not inked the card. So I think that was the right decision here. Yeah, two cards go under there. We did not really see it. The Daisy was questing, and two cards go under. Daisy is, yeah, I think we are one of those decks that really needs a bit of luck to get a bit cards out of it. I think at the end of the day, like every second card should be a character, which still is okay. In this case, it was two non-characters, works for me as well. He plays Pete now. I don't know his last card. Also, if you have one card in hand only against this card, you're probably scared. So I get why he's playing out the Pete, but I think there are better turns in which you can play out a Pete. In this particular case, what Pete does is it keeps me from singing Sudden Chill to rip his last card. So to be fair, I think I take it back. I think this Pete right here is very good. But what I notice a lot of times, people don't really time their Pete perfectly, and even though Pete always has a great effect against our deck, a perfectly timed Pete can seal a game, and that's that's the difference maker sometimes. I think I have the John in hand, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. No, I do not. Okay. And even if I do, right now I need to get rid of the situation. That was an aerial whiff that is not really good. But I think, as I said last game, this time around, my opponent already dumped their hand by themselves, and now our priority lies on clearing the board, and that's why we want to get to the under the sea point. Okay, so we got two Daisy triggers now we can watch. It's a Sudden Chill, and at least it's a minion. Even though those minions probably don't do something for us directly, they at least represent resources, they represent ink in worst case, and also against Diggy Hole, for Under the Sea, for singing multiple songs in the same turn you want to play the Under the Sea. It is good to have characters on board, more characters on board. They quest to 10, and luckily I recognize that even though it looks really grim right now, I still have 2 more turns at least, like next turn from my opponent, and then after that turn I have the second turn to react to the board. So not this turn, but the turn after, I need to take care of the board, and that's why I'm preparing to do so. And I think right now we see a really heads-up play from me in this situation. There is a Daisy on board. I'm gonna pause here because I played a Muse. I know now that I have a second Muse in hand in this situation, and I also already have songs in hand to do. I think I have a Bruno and a Sudden Chill or something like this. And of course, I could sing Ariel, give something back, get at least rid of one Daisy, or even give back both Daisies with the Bruno. But I decide to not clear anything this turn to maximize my outs, clearing everything or as much as I need to clear to not lose the game the turn thereafter in my next turn. And I think that's really, really important that I play it like this. It looks really weird, like why is he not doing something as a Muse on board? He at least has to give something back to hand, like one Daisy. But I decide to kind of pay the situation I have next turn, like the state with 2 Muses, more songs in hand. I pay my own life for it, I pay opponent lore. Like, let's put it like that. If that would be Magic, I would say I would pay with my own life, and I'm giving up. And I think that's such an important thing I did in a series to also get across this second game, because next turn will be magical. He plays a Smee. I get 2 more triggers. As far as I know, I hit 2 times. Aerial is really important, and I do hit the hiss as well, which gives me a bit more steam. I don't need to ink a song possibly to which I can use a turn later or something. Like, obviously a Pete here loses the game for me instantly. So I'm a bit lucky it was a Smee and not a Pete. That's what I have to say. He now is on 16. He decides to not quest with the Kaloon. You can do that, but actually I would prefer taking the 17 here and maybe finishing next turn with something in case my opponent plays UTS. Because, for example, like Under the Sea and Bruno onto the Pete, for example, would not, or onto the Kaloon even better, would just put him to 90 next turn. So I think that's a misplay, not questing with the Kaloon, but this actually won't matter. I think I'm thinking very, very long about this. Very long. Because I have a lot of options in hand. So, there goes the second muse. We have 3 muse targets, so 1 song is 2 targets. And I am pretty sure I have a Bruno. Yeah, this is really important. So we can also get rid of something with 3 attack or more. 3 attack or more. I want to get rid of the Kaloon because I'm thinking she survives an attack. The Pete, for example, would not survive the aerial attack, and he gets law while attacking. So I think on a level of what is best for him now, it's the Kaloon, I think, compared to the other stuff. And also, he can't bounce the Pete. If I would play against Amethyst, I would probably get rid of the Pete, so he can't bounce it, stuff like this. I give back 2 daisies, and as far as I remember, yeah, let's just continue watching. I've also used all of my ink, so now my opponent has exactly lethal on board. But I can also still attack with my muses here to get rid of the Cinderella. So as I said, the missing Kaloon quest is crucial now, because if I kill the Cinderella and can't kill something else, this means he would be through with law. Oh, it actually is like that. I did not remember it. So to be fair, I got a bit lucky that he did not quest with Kaloon. I did not remember this. Because as we see, maybe I had something else in hand still, but I'm pretty sure this game would have been over if he quested with Kaloon. But besides that, my point still stands. He wants to get rid of the muses, which makes sense to me, because he does not want me to put both daisies back in hand. And I think I get pretty lucky here, because as far as I know, next turn I'm able to cast Under the Sea. Let's see how this turns out. Still need to be a bit careful. Yeah, it's still tricky. I don't know how I solve this puzzle. Let's see and watch. Ooh. Oh yeah, I'm drawing first with Strike a Good Match. So this signals I need to get deeper into my deck to get something I want to get, and just one Painting the Roses red is enough to achieve that. I'm singing Sudden Shell, so I can bounce 1 daisy. Yeah, I think I don't do it with Under the Sea this turn. I will continue playing my songs to give back stuff. I think there is another song I will play. It is another Strike a Good Match. I also get, by this I get deeper and maybe next turn get something into my hand like a Bruno or in Under the Sea together with a Kida to make sure I finally fully get rid of his board. It's pretty cool to be able to kill the Smee here and also the Pete. So now I do get rid of this whole board. And now need to hope that I have, like, as I said, a Bruno or an Under the Sea plus Kida to get both cards that are still in hand. And now the third card away. Yeah, but even though I'm down 18-2, it still looks very good. Like, Smee is important here because even if I play 3 songs, if there is no Bruno in it or nothing to reduce the Pete's strength, he can quest 220. I start off with Kida and play Under the Sea. I let my Muse not trigger because even though it's juice, it's good to bounce aerial, replay aerial, stuff like this. I want to keep. Never mind. Never mind. Probably my thinking here is that I do not have the Bruno, which I was talking about, or a Painting the Roses Red, stuff like this. So I do want to get my aerial back to hand. Normally in this kind of situation, if you clear the board and you have a follow-up song in hand for the next turn, you can just wait with aerial and bounce next turn to directly get use of her and don't kill your own tempo or board state with giving back the aerial. Luckily for me, my opponent draws a strength and inks the third strength. So we have a bit of time to play our own cards now. The penny at least threatens game end next turn. So I just need one song to give it back, and that's why now the aerial comes in clutch. My bad again for calling that incorrectly last time. Oh, that's really funny. I have a song in hand, but I decide to first dig with aerial. I think the song I have in hand is Roses, if I'm not mistaken. But of course I want to find something better than Roses. Roses can be very beneficial against the Captain Smee, for example. That's why I think I played a second aerial before I then actually use a song to clear the penny. Yeah. Also, it was also good for my opponent to kill the Muse in the round with Pete, because that means I get less bounces. Yeah. I do have the Roses and give back penny to hand. As I said, I do know that I had it before the 2 aerials, but I wanted to make it a bit more, how do you say it, a bit more, no, not exciting, but maybe exciting, I don't know. I draw a lot of cards now because of Diablo on board, and I think I'm 2 turns away. He plays another penny, so I just need to find one more song and win the game. The Cinderella is irrelevant, probably irrelevant. He's on 5 ink, maybe has a big Cinder in his deck. Hopes for a miracle, that's possible. But on paper, most of the times, I just need one song, and I find that song, so I can give back the penny. And am in no danger. And at this point, I already know in my hand I've won the game because I quest with everything, which is plus 9, I think. I'm 1 short, but this 100% means next round I am I'm winning the game. My opponent already out of the game as well. Instead of putting it to hand and then we roll for it, he just put it directly into the discard. I do not mind. Yeah, it's okay. Okay. And what's this last card? It's a Pete and the Cinderella. I'm already packing my stuff. Won that game. Yeah, amazing. I hope this little VOD review helped a few of you either getting a basic understanding of how this deck functions, at least against like this archetype. I think against control archetypes like red blue or blue steel items, combo items, it plays out a bit differently. We have to value and prioritize other things than we do in this specific matchup. I think another matchup that comes close to this dynamic is Purple Steel. So everything you learn from this against Diggy Hole is also usable against Purple Steel, and everything like mid-range steely, even probably against the Blue Steel Kiwi Bird version, which focuses on like playing on curve, minions on curve, rather than drawing and setting up a lot of ramp, stuff like this. So yeah, I hope you liked the video. If you did, please consider giving me a like on this video and a subscription so I can see what you guys or what you people like and what not. Also, you can find me on Twitter or X, which is Bandit_Lorcana. It was a pleasure hanging with you, and I wish you a great day, a great evening, or a great morning. Bye bye.